Okay. Y'all let me know if it works, because I was hearing myself, and let's see. Yes, I'm back. Hi, the remix. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming by. It's been a while since I've gotten to go into your channel. I've been really busy with some drama. Sorry. I love the music that you play, though. It's always like giving me a good mood. I do watch the replays, so. Hey, Junkyard, how are you, hon? Oh, I don't like this. What is this? Green screen. Okay, good. Done. All right. So, yeah, today I just wanted to come in here and talk a little bit about some of the things that are going on, because there's some people that don't have a voice and they're being fucked with, and I don't appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, where do I start? Where do I start? Where do I start? Today, I spent the whole day doing something I really hate doing because I have major PTSD. I don't like talking to the authorities. I don't like police. I don't like government stuff. I don't like any of that. Um, and me having to do it has just been really, really triggering. As most of y'all know, I was originally doxxed by Maggie. That was a couple months ago, and because she's in another country, it's a little bit harder to report, but also because there's a lot of evidence with her that I have to collect. And I've spent over 10 hours on that, just alone. I'm not nearly halfway done. But yesterday, Star doxed me for the second time on YouTube. And the reason why it is considered doxing is because of the intent. There's malicious intent in disclosing my name. It wasn't necessary, it wasn't part of the conversation. It had nothing to do with what we were talking about. And it was the missing piece. And so she thought it was the missing piece of finding out who I am. The reason of finding out who I am based on my legal name has no positive intentions, because it's not like there's something to expose me for, since I'm not a content creator. I'm not asking for money. I'm not declaring I'm a psychologist to give services like people have said. None of that. There's no reason to try to find my address, or my parents' address, or anything like that. So it was just malicious. It was vicious. It was malicious, and it had every intention to get people that might not like me on the internet to come after me, whether that's physically, psychologically, or whatever. So, I did have to go today and do something I really hated doing. It was very difficult for me. And I don't like the way that the at this point it's become the threat of doxing is what people like Star are trying to do to instill fear in me, right? And I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of being afraid because the first time it happened, it gave me a whole panic attack, anxiety attack, all of that. Um, and I'm kind of tired of it. So I reported it the way it needs to be reported, um, just in case something happens to me. I want a paper trail. Um, 1 second. Okay, sorry. Um, anyway, so I did it, right? I did it. It's submitted. It took a lot of time, but it's done, right? And so if anything happens, there's a paper trail. I'm not really sure what I'm going to end up doing, but as far as long term, but I'm collecting data and keeping, as many cards as I can in my hands, right? But what I don't really like is that there is a friend of mine that is being targeted, and she's been muted because people are afraid of her because she has a rough mouth, but who doesn't in the sector, okay? Um, but she's never made any threats to people, and she hasn't been allowed to speak, and I don't think that's fair because there's been allegations said about her. So today I wanna talk about Lauren Nicole, right? I'm not doxing her because that is her name publicly, and she has given me permission to call her by that. Lauren Nicole is not Laura or Lori or anybody else. She's Lauren Nicole. She is not Snoopy. There's no conspiracy there. It's very clear. Okay. It seems like somebody told Star this at some point that Snoopy and Lauren are the same person, but they're not. I know Lauren personally. I speak to her almost daily on FaceTime. I've seen her. She's not Snoopy. She doesn't even sound like Snoopy. But Lauren doesn't have StreamYard. She's in a different country, so she doesn't really know how to use it. And she's been blocked on everybody's channel, so she can't talk. But Star has accused her of being Snoopy and doxing her and everything when Lauren has actually, you know, not done anything. Like, she has not done anything to Star. If anything, I have proof of the support she's given Star until she said her name, which is she doxed Lauren and Snoopy. Now, I'd like to remind y'all that Star was doxed by Danny on Vampire's chat. He typed in her name, and I was modding, and I deleted it immediately. Timed him out, right? Um, and he threatened to put her last name in there. And I timed him out so he wouldn't do that. And I stayed there vigilant, like just hovering over my mouse in case he did that. But now, when it comes to Star's turn, because some people have filled her head with conspiracy theories about me, about Snoopy, about all these other people, and shown her I don't know what kind of receipts, but did not share the screen and scrolled all the way to the entire history, right? And because of that, she's got these theories that Lauren is Snoopy, and that I'm working with Snoopy, and that um you know it's just none of it is the way that she thinks it is. And actually, there's some people that are coming after her, that had come after her. But instead of focusing on them, she has been focused on me. She's been focused on Snoopy. She's been focused on Lauren. And we are not interested in Star like that. I don't have the time. And she knows this. She knows this. She's not done. So what she's doing is, because she feels hurt, she is okay. And because she feels hurt and because she believes that we are trying to hurt her, she is willing to actually hurt other people without evidence. Because you can make up evidence, right? You can make up evidence. You can doctor up receipts, or you can cut them in a way where it makes you look better. But if you don't show the whole thing, you'll never know what really happened. And I told her that if she needed it, I could FaceTime and screen share so she could see all of the Discord archives. But instead of doing that, she got on a call that was organized by somebody else with people that have trashed her for months, right? Who have a vendetta against me, painted a picture where I'm the evil one and they're angels. And she believed them, even though I told her this would happen. So it's madness. It's madness. It's reaction. It's taking real life actions over things that you're not sure of. And that's really dangerous and confusing and unstable. So let me read some of the comments before I go on. Hey, Boo Boo. Who is that junkyard? What do you mean? Who is Lauren? Hi, Lisa. How are you, honey? Yeah, this is Lisa. This is my first stream, so I had a little bit of trouble, but I think I got it. Hi, Meek. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Um, so I think, Junk, you were talking about Lauren. Sorry, I'm a little late on answering your question. Lauren is somebody that I met through Maggie. Oh, don't worry, Lisa. I fucked it up. I really did. I could hear myself or something, and I was like, okay, I had to end it, so you didn't miss anything. But hey, Kareen, hi, my love. Uh, Lauren is a person that I met when I was in Maggie's channel, modding. She was a subscriber, and she got told off one day by Maggie very rudely. Basically, what happened was Lauren was listening to Maggie. Maggie was talking about the court case with Danny, and just complaining about her trauma with that. And yes, Junkyard. It's Lauren. Yeah. And Lauren in the chat typed in, "What can we do about this? What can we do about it?" Right? And instead of giving her subscriber the benefit of the doubt of thinking, okay, you know, maybe this subscriber wants to help me and wants to think of practical solutions, Maggie, like the asshole she is, yelled at her subscriber, Lauren, and told her, "I don't know, Lauren. I'm not your messiah. Maybe make it rain." And Lauren was pissed. Lauren was pissed off. And so she sent me an email afterwards, because I have a public email that I created because Maggie had asked to help her collect receipts on Danielle. And so, since she does not answer her emails or respond to people most of the time, people would be sending receipts to her and never hear anything back. So they were worried that they were sending things to, a black hole. And so people started sending them to me because I would at least shoot back a shoot back an email saying, "Hey, thank you so much, received," or something, right? And so Lauren reached out to me through my public email and told me how distressed she was, that this was really mean. Lauren was genuinely asking, "What is it that we can do?" And she told me that she had been feeling desesperated because it's been months that Mazzy had been talking about this case and how traumatizing it is for her with no action and with us not really being able to do much. So Lauren was really upset about that and the way that she was treated rudely because she's just a subscriber trying to support. Um, and I stood up for her. I did. I stood up for her in the chat that day. I said, "Please don't leave," because she was upset. I emailed her and consoled her. We became friends, and I tried to apologize on behalf of the channel. I tried to talk to Maggie, but she doesn't give a fuck. Like she said, "I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck." So Lauren never came back, and Maggie didn't give a fuck. So Lauren never came back. Lauren never liked her after that, but she really liked me because I was there for her. We talked and I took the time to do that. Well, fast forward, I get docs like within a week of this happening to Lauren. And because I've been really close to Lauren, taking care of her, making sure she's okay, she was really upset that Maggie was now treating me like shit. So she went in there and tried to defend me like many people did, and she got blocked, right? So she was not able to speak anything over there. All right. That's very frustrating for a person when they talk about you, when they say things about you, and then they mute you. It can be one of the worst things you can do to a person. And that's what's been done to her. It started with Maggie, but she is now being silenced everywhere. So, for example, she did have an issue with Tanika, right? And she was blocked on Vampire's chat. She was blocked on Maggie's chat, and Tanika did go into Maggie's chat and bring her up, right? She's been brought up and she can't respond. So what ends up happening is she has no voice, and now Star came out with her conspiracy theory that Lauren is Snoopy, and Star doxed Lauren. Lauren's fine because she's really strong and she's got a man and everything's good and she's not even in this country. She's very far away from here. But it's the principle. And I'm going to say this. Lauren has been here for me 10 times more than Star. So I was upset because Lauren is my girl. And Star has been nothing but pure just deranged lately. And especially with me, particularly, I feel like she is completely just not ungrateful because I went through, I saw all the documents that everybody else saw. I saw all of this. People brought this to me. Okay. People brought this to me. And even through that, I said, you know what? This girl has gone through a lot. The last thing she needs is to everybody. I'm going to stick next to her, even though I don't know what's going on. She's not the best friend I've ever had because she barely listens to me. and she spends a lot of time talking about herself. And there were 3 girls that were plotting against her, that were talking bad about her for hours, a lot more than I ever did. And I'm just gonna say it, and I'm okay because I talked to you directly, Tanika. Tanika held a meeting with those girls, even though Star blocked those girls. Tanika went, inserted herself into the situation without even talking to me or seeing my proof or my receipts, created a group call and had a conference to expose me with the receipts they had on me, even though I'm the one with the Discord archives. I have all the receipts on all the conversations that were going on against Star. And I told her I would share this, not pictures, screen share, because I'm tired of these little pictures and clips that Mandy tends to show or whatever, because those can be doctored and they don't show your side. They don't show your side. People are trying to make, and they're pointing the finger at me because they've done worse than me. It has become the common cool thing to blame me and throw cast stones at me, but they don't talk about them first. So I'm going to go back to Mary Magdalene. Okay. You can cast stones upon me if you've never sinned before. If that's not the case, then talk about your sins first, and then go ahead and talk about mine too. I have no problem with that. But talk about your sins first, because you're not angels. And I'm not worse than you, even though you think I am and you try to paint me like that. But let me tell you, I have friends, not a friend. And that shows a history and a consistency and a pattern of love. I know that you guys want to paint me that I'm a fake ass bitch, that I'm backstabbing, that I'm this and that. Well, let me tell you, if you think that about yourself, think about what you've done to me, because you can ask a lot of other people and they haven't had that experience with me. I'm friends with all my neighbors. I'm friends with everyone I come across. People love me. I don't have enough time in the day to love on my people the way that I want to love, because those of you that I talk to outside the scenes, I spend time listening to you because I love you guys. I want to know about your life, your well-being, and how you're doing, and support you every single day to keep on going, because the world and life is hard. But a person that really is backstabbing, gossiping, conniving, you would have a pattern of people that they have problems with. I don't have that pattern. I have 2 people that absolutely hate me, and they are known liars. And they have a lot of issues with a lot of people. Let's take a Magic. How many people does she have problems with? And Star, we just saw, how many people does she have problems with now? So I would like for people that have no issues with other people to cast a stone towards me, rather than people that have so much on them in their own lives, trying to focus on me and project onto me. So I want to make it clear again, the conspiracy theory, the tinfoil hat that I need to pull out, okay, that Lauren is Snoopy, is not true. I don't know if Tanika told you that, and if she did, she might have been drunk, because Snoopy's name is not Lauren. It's pretty close to that, but it's not Lauren. So you got the wrong person and you hurt a person that is not innocent in this. Just because Lauren was really pissed off at you, Tanika, does not mean that she's willing to hurt you or hurt Star. Okay, I need a break. Let me check the chat here in a second. All right. Thank you so much for coming in. Hi, Doo. How are you? Hi, Temper. Thank you for stopping by. Hi, Fluffy. I love you too, Kareen. Yeah, Plotter. So recently, and I told Star this, okay? I recently I felt like Star has been very selfish or self-centered because every single time she calls me or Plotter or sends us a message, it's never, "Hey Plotter, how are you doing? How is your family? How's your well-being?" Or, "Hey Polly, how's it going?" Period. It's not. It's a huge message about her YouTube situation and her life and everything about her. And maybe she'll ask after a huge jump of information how you're doing. And by that time, you're exhausted. So when I had problems, I literally had to go to other people. And I shouldn't have to tell you, Star, "Hey, excuse me, can you pay attention to me?" Because she said, "Oh, you could have called me." Yes, but you should want to know about me if you really are my friend, if you gave a fuck. She got mad at me that I didn't text her back or call her back when she wanted to in that second when I had a huge call. And she texts me, "Oh, no answer?" And I'm like, "Girl, I was in a serious call and you don't give a fuck about my call or what's going on in my life. You're still talking about your YouTube shit. Why don't you log off?" Which me and Plotter have told you to do that. Okay? So, and the threats. Listen, I took your threats seriously. I did. And you know I have PTSD with the police, but you still put me through that. You begged me not to dox you. I made a promise and I stuck by it, but you turned that right around. And I have receipts of that. And I showed the police that. And after the conversation I had with the police today, I'm sure that what you have on me won't stand because what I have on you barely does. Okay? Now leave Lauren Nicole alone. She doesn't care about you like that, girl, at all. You've got the wrong one. Try again. If everything went the way it went, you know who Snoopy is. So stop acting dumb like that. There's no conspiracy. You My personal opinion, you have PTSD from what you've gone through, and instead of getting help, you're coming onto YouTube, and YouTube is triggering the shit out of you. And now you've got conspiracies running through your head, which make me wonder whether what actually happened in your real life is an entire conspiracy in its own. Because if you're treating this situation the way you are, if you're taking action, calling the police, reporting people that were not the real people, Lauren Nicole as Snoopy, and this and that, and I'm there and I know the truth. How do I not? This happened before, and we just don't know the truth. Or I personally look the other way, girl, because the truth was brought to my door, and you don't appreciate that at all. You don't give a fuck. I feel so used. I feel used. Like I feel like you use me to just as a free therapist. and it's exhausting. And yesterday, Stormy said it. When she said this, I was like, it's a pattern. Stormy said yesterday that Star would call her for hours and talk about herself and not do anything. That's what she does with me. And I hate to say it, but she's done that to other people. I'm going to say this once. The reason why Michelle was upset with you is because she felt used for all the time she spent on the phone with you two. And you'll never get that through your head. I'm not saying that what she did was cool or right. I don't agree with what Michelle did personally. I'm just not like that, okay? But she did have a reason to be hurt, okay? You are using other people as your therapist, not a friend. And you need to go see some therapy. I do wait. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me catch up with the. Of course, the remix. Y'all need to follow the remix channel if y'all get a chance. I post if y'all check out my community wall, I post when he goes live and he plays music. He just plays music remixes and playlists, and they're great. He's got a great arsenal of Tupac. He's got a great arsenal. The other day, he played Riri. He's got it popping. So check him out. He does a lot of lives when you can just play music, and he's a great DJ. So, y'all, check him out. I'll be posting his YouTube on my community wall after this. Okay. Hi, Dudu. How are you? There was a lot of garbage going on, Temper. It was awful. It was awful. Last night's what she did in Stormy's channel was horrible on so many levels. Her mom, she got her mom to go in there, and I don't understand that. When I said respect our elders, I wasn't calling her mom an elderly. In the English language, an elderly person and an elder means completely different things. Elderly is an adjective describing somebody being of age, and an elder just means a person that is over your age. And I was taught and raised to respect anybody, especially my family, that is older than me. We call that our elders. Doesn't mean they're elderly. And I think you should respect your mom and protect her heart because this is not that serious. Nobody is actually going to your place or trying to hurt you. People were upset with the lies. That's why they looked into you. But nobody wants to do something to you. Yes, Potter, the messages we got were horrible. I know, Temper. I'm just, you know, my mentality was she is a hurt person. And I do believe that love turns into medicine. Pure, unconditional love, Christ like love, is healing. And I thought that with her, as long as I was there for her and listened to her, which was my love language to her, listening to her and giving her that, even though sometimes it was hours and draining for me sometimes, that wasn't good enough. I thought that if I did that, that maybe she'll heal or be grateful or something. But no, I did that and I got worse reaction from her than people that didn't give her that and that talked about her and that didn't believe her and that looked her up and that doxed her. She didn't dox those people. She doxed me. Okay? It makes no sense. Me, promises are meant to be broken, so go in, Polly hell. Oh my gosh. Because Star is like a child and automatically assumes if you watch someone else, then you're going against her. Yes, that is true, Plotter. It all started because we're in Vamps chat, and I have told her many, many times that it has nothing to do with Star. Star pushed Vamps onto us in the beginning, and she decided to switch her mind and not make amends. That's her decision. I have a connection with Vamps because I see the struggle she's going through. I'm an immigrant, she's an immigrant. She comes from a third world country, so do I. She's been homeless, so have I. She's got, spazzes out every now and then. I I I have seen that before. I have family that has that kind of instability. It's normal. And I see Vamp's true heart is pure. She does do some fucked up shit sometimes. I'm not defending that. But again, I'm the type of person that I want to try to give unconditional love to those that most people cannot because of whatever reasons. And she can't understand that because it's all about her. And she really thinks she's, I don't know, fighting a war here on YouTube, but a lot of us don't care that much because we have real lives. So not to mention how she stood on the fence for a very long time when Plotter and I were targeted. Lukewarm, lukewarm hearts. But she expects us to be fiery and windmill and do this and that. And when we didn't, she turned on us in the worst possible way. With me, and she doxed me. And the way she did it was so ugly. She's like, oh, that's not. She played stupid. Oh, I thought that wasn't your real name. I thought that wasn't your real name. Okay, girl. Right, right. You did that on purpose. And it's horrible that you would do that to somebody that cared for you and spent so many hours listening to you, just to you. Yes, Kareen also Kareen was also targeted, and I've gotten close to her too because again, I I like to love on people and I like to build a community of people that are focused on healing and getting out of a hole and improving their lives. I have a compassionate heart, I guess, where I do it doesn't bother me at all and I get a lot of joy being able to help people just by seeing them, being seen, being heard, giving somebody the space to react without being muted. And all of that stuff is incredibly healing. And I like to be that for some people, right? So Kareem just came out of a very difficult situation with Donut, and he did do a video. And it was what Kareem went through is exactly what I went through with Maggie when she first doxed me. And it is unbelievable how Donut and Maggie are similar in the game that they play. Because everything that Maggie said about me was a lie, and everything that Donut said was a lie. And Donut tried to get people that were friends with Kareem to turn against her, just like Maggie did with me. And just like with Donut, that actually succeeded because he's very manipulative. And just like with Maggie, that actually succeeded with the people that called themselves my friends, right? It's the same game, it's the same play, and it's awful. It's awful. So, because of that and a few other things, because Kareen's awesome too, yeah, she's my girl, and I'm gonna be sticking with her. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry guys. I'm back. Um, yes, it happened. It happened to Kareem too. So, and that's something that at some point I think I'd like to, with time, get into, you know, a little bit more on the games that people play on YouTube, these content creators, because what I've noticed is, what's that saying that they say? History is on the eye of the beholder, right? It's on the person, the people that are writing history. And we know that there's a lot of history that has been erased, right? Because the people that were in charge of writing that history didn't want certain truths to come out. And it's the same way on YouTube. There is a reason why it's so scary to come after a content creator. Okay, there's a reason for that. They make it very intimidating. The bullying, the harassment, they have a following, so you get bullied by a bunch of people. And then the history turns into whatever they say happened. And if you're not a content creator, then your story, what actually happened, will never come to the truth. And then innocent people that are very new, like I was, I started on coming onto YouTube lives just at the end of last year, summer of last year. So I didn't know a lot of the history in the sector, right? And there's a lot of stuff that, unless you're a content creator, is not out there. And the content creators end up having all the power on the narrative. And that's how history, incorrect history in the real world and now digitally, is formed. And so I was asked when I first got doxxed by Maggie. I had before I got doxxed. Sorry about that. Before I got doxxed, I had every intention of leaving YouTube lives for a while because I didn't expect to get doxxed. The plan was, I'm giving back my wrench and I'm heading out. But then I got doxxed, and unless I was around, I wouldn't have been able to document that for my own safety, for my own reasons. So that's why I didn't just leave. And now I'm not leaving because I'm seeing that I'm the again, history is written on the eye of the beholder. And unless I speak on it, people are going to just build a narrative about me. And it's the principle that bothers me, not really what's being said about me. It's the principle. I don't like to be muted. I came to this country because there's freedom of speech here. I don't come from that. So I do take it very seriously because it's a freedom that I fought for to get here. It was very hard. I'm a legal US citizen, and to be able to do that takes a lot of money. It took me over a decade. It's very difficult. And for somebody to come in here and say, no, you don't get to speak up because I say so. You should be in that corner. I'm gonna talk all kinds of shit about you, turn all your friends against you, say that you did this and that and this and that, and frame you in this way or whatever. But you little girl, Polly, you stay in your corner. Shut the fuck up. Why are you still on YouTube? You said you would leave. Well, how about you stop talking about me and maybe not dox me, and then I would have left. But it never stopped. I'm being talked about to this day. So no, I'm not gonna get off. And I'm not gonna get off not just for me. I'm glad I stayed because I'm seeing that I'm not the only one that gets thrown under the bus, silenced because they're not content creators, defamed, bullied, and harassed. So I'm here not just because of my presence or my image or whatever. I no, I'm here because because of there is history in what happened to me, and it needs to be seen because it's going to happen again. And people need to be ready for that. If you're gonna fuck with Maggie, if you're gonna fuck with Star. Y'all need to know what you guys are getting yourselves in because I'll be damned if there's another poly victim, if I can prevent it just by sharing the story. And now I'm here standing by the underdogs. I'm here standing with Kareem, and I'm here standing with Lady T. I know a lot of people say she's crazy, and God, she might, but she's a woman, and you don't bully her because a man took advantage of her. And you don't bully her because she got a tattoo on her neck of that man when there were women cheering her on for that. I don't want to hear anything about her being crazy because there was an audience telling her to do it. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. They want us to be quiet, and I would have because I'm not like that, to be honest. This is really weird for me. I'm not I'm an introvert. I don't really like to be that public. Um, I don't mind it. I'm not shy, which is why I get on the chats and I cam up and everything, but I didn't want to talk and do all this stuff. If I wouldn't have been doxxed, everything would have been fine. I was leaving. I'm sorry, Plutter. I know it's really late. If you need to go, I get it. You're good. I'm gonna probably leave this up. I don't know. I really think that I don't know what's true or not anymore about her, Plotter, especially the way she turned on me. Like, I literally have a text message where she said, "Please don't dox me." And I said, "I would never dox you." And she said, "I would never dox you too." So I don't know what's true anymore. I really don't. Right, doo doo. Yes, I know what you mean. Our freedom is on the thin line, and we gotta send some prayers to our country, to the United States of America, because with all its problems that this country has, as a person from a third world nation, it's relatively pretty fucking good. And we really need to fight for us to keep that. We really do. Because many nations don't have that. A lot of nations don't have. Actually, it's easier to count how many countries give you freedom of speech and respect that and give you certain rights than not. Yeah. Oh, yes, that's a good one, Potter. That's another thing. There's a reason why people left you Star. It's not just because you made a tiny mistake. Mm-mm. It's not about the mistakes you make. It's about what happens when you do make those mistakes. It's almost zero accountability. And the accountability that sometimes you take is, well, I'm not perfect. Okay, I made a mistake, for God's sake. But when other people make a mistake, you spend a long time of that. I saw that yesterday with Stormy. I'm not even Stormy's friend, like you say I'm friends with all these people. I'm not even her friend. But I can see as a person that she had feelings. And I was literally telling you, please take a second to consider that she might be hurt because of the confusion, lie, miscommunication. And you can't do that. You kept going about yourself and it's just other people have feelings. If you ignore them, they're going to be hurt. And the fact that you don't care, you didn't reach out to that person, you didn't even notice. That's the problem. When you don't even notice that a person is gone, what can I say? People are not into this one way relationship where they're only there for you and you don't do very much for the other person in the relationship. It's a relationship. It's a dual dynamic. And that's not something that Star seems to have a balance of, you know? Um she does not, yes, Plotter, because me and Plotter have been there for her a lot. And there's been things that she has done. Like, for example, this is very simple. When she first started hanging out with Vance, we told her to be careful because Vance is volatile. Okay. Now, personally, I said that to Star because I know Star and she can't handle volatile. She can't handle trolling. She can't handle a joke like that. If it was somebody else that could have that, maybe I would have told her, go ahead, you know. But Vamps does have an unstable side to her personality. And if you're not flexible in thought and in emotions, then you're not going to be able to roll with her. Um, and we called it out, but she ignored us. She ignored me. She ignored Plotter. She ignored three other girls. And then when Vamps went off, she was not able to get over it. She was not able to forgive her, and now everybody had to also be in that side. Some of us don't have that kind of some of us can handle a troll, can handle some jokes, can handle that. And we can see past that in Vamps and still support her as a human because we don't want her to, you know, just God knows, like isolation can do horrible things. Nobody deserves to be isolated. If you can't handle her because she comes at you, walk away, but you don't have to hurt her. And there's some of us that can handle her because when she goes off on us, we just turn it off. We come back the next day, she apologizes, she takes accountability, and she does change. She's come at me. I have a tolerance for that. But you didn't listen to us. Star didn't listen to us. And then when it happened, she got upset. This happened again recently. We told you that people on YouTube are not going to be around like you all the time like that, and they'll turn on you in a second, especially content creators. And that happened. And now you're alone. And now you're going back to Maggie trying to be okay with her because you can't stand on your own, which is pathetic because Maggie thinks you're an idiot. Yet, me, who gave you the benefit of the doubt, you doxed me. Not Maggie, not Danny who doxed you, me. Hey, Risa, how are you, honey? Nice to have you here. I saw that. Couldn't understand why she was not put out of Stormy's chat. I know. Yeah, I mean, Stormy was very gracious because she spammed the chat. When the police came here and I showed them the evidence, they were just, you should have seen their face when I showed the chat. She was like, and they're like, oh. She used to be a lot nicer. I don't know what got her so twisted in here, but she treats you two like an obsession. She is obsessed. She cannot turn it off. She cannot turn it off. See, this is what happened. There was a group of us, once upon a time, about four of us, including myself, that cared about her channel and wanted to help her with her channel. So we spent a week doing research, looking into what could help her, SEO analytics, and all this other stuff. We scheduled We all got our calendars together, scheduled a time where she could come in with us and we could talk to her, give her some ideas, ask her what she wants to do with her channel. You know what she did? In the middle of it, without saying anything to us, we're talking to her about social engagement optics, all these other things. And then we hear her just talking, and we're like, Star, what are you saying? Star, what are you saying? Without hanging up on us, telling us, hey, I need to take a call or I need to go to this, she was texting, and somebody had told her to jump on Stormy's channel, and she jumped on the panel while still on the phone with us. I had to hang up on, close the call because she didn't even hang up. She couldn't even hear us. Hey, hello. We all set aside time for her. That's why those girls got mad. That's the famous Discord call that everybody talks about. It wasn't about the fact that you could or could not hear us because she was playing us. We were there and she was on panel. It wasn't about the fact that you could, and indeed, you were not able to hear us. But there was a danger of that. You don't care about the danger. Same thing with Stormy. You recorded the call. Nothing really happened, but it's like you don't give a fuck about another person's privacy or safety, but you want everybody to be really careful with your privacy and safety when you've brought everything on the internet. Nobody has to do very much looking. And you know what they told me today? They told me the use of Intellis is not illegal if you give them information that they can type in there publicly. And it's not publicly, doesn't just mean on YouTube. And if you've sent that to them privately and they don't bring it to YouTube and they use Intellis, a company that is not illegal in the United States, none of that is illegal. I just asked. But you coming into YouTube, having a conversation about something totally different, and then dropping my name in the middle for no reason after you threatened me by saying, if I were you, Polly, I would walk very carefully and watch what you say. I sent that to them too. That's technically a threat. That is all illegal. Did you know that? I don't know. But you're the one that's calling the authorities and doing this and this and that. But just you're committing crimes too, girl. Welcome to the club then. You've made it. It's pretty bad and pretty embarrassing. I had to badger her in a life to answer Hermon's question. Yes, it was. And Hermon had just enough and left. That was that. Yes, it is. That's exactly how it is. She ignored Hermon and she plays stupid. I concluded that. She plays stupid, just like she did yesterday with my name, because she said, but I heard with this voice too. It's so weird. It's like, I heard that your name was really bleep, bleep, bleep. And I was like, okay, okay. I don't know her. Just let's drop your name in the Slytherin voice. Girl, chill. Like, damn, what's wrong? This is YouTube. It's not like that. You have real world people that you need to fight with. If what you're saying, if your story is as bad as it is, you should be focused on that. But just like Stormy said, you spent all day talking to people, whether it's Stormy, Lacey, me, Plotter, whoever, you spent a lot of hours talking and talking and talking and talking and reacting, rage baiting yourself instead of turning it off and walking away and getting your mom to come in, which I don't understand why you would do that. It's not serious. And what is your poor mom gonna do? Oh yeah, her excuse was, "But I only said her first name." And it's not her first name, is it? It's the same Maggie line. Again, she knows because I think it's possible that Star is so self-centered that when I told her my name, she didn't listen to it, and or the fact that it's in Spanish and I pronounce it properly, porque yo en verdad hablo español, porque soy de Sudamérica. And so maybe she didn't understand what I said, but she knows my full name and she knows I'm from South America and she knows I don't just have one name like people in America. In my country, when I was born, we were required to not just have, you could not just have a first name or a singular last name, by the way. At some point, I had 9 names in my passport when I was married. It's different. It does not mean that because you gave out my first name, my middle name, my third name, my last name, my second last name, any of that, doesn't matter which one it is, it's still my legal name. Which is why when I had to report the doxing with Maggie to YouTube Legal, I gave them my ID. I'm not going to give you my ID. I'm not going to tell you my name. I'm not going to do that work for you or have to prove it. I silently worked with YouTube Legal, gave them my ID, gave them my picture, my live picture, talked to them on the phone, verified that it's me, and they took it down. They are not going to do that if it's fake, if it's bogus. You don't know how many loops I had to go through of verification with a person, not YouTube AI. So I stop saying you didn't dox me, Maggie. Stop saying you didn't dox me, Star. It's bullshit and you know it. Take accountability. You guys are just fucked up. And you're mad at me and you want to hurt me in whatever way you can, emotionally, psychologically, maybe even physically. You just want to hurt me. You don't have to like me. You can hate me all you want. Just don't start spreading lies and don't run from accountability. Own it. You doxed me, period. It is illegal to publish it online to harm someone. Yes, exactly, Risa. She threatened you in the chat about dropping your name. I think I got that correct. Um, I'm not sure because I wasn't checking the chat, but I'll be able to check it when Stormy publishes it for sure. But I know that she said earlier in that live that I should be scared. Like if I were you, I would be careful or something like that. That was enough for the call when I played that. That was a threat. She's a liar. She knew your name. Yeah, she does. Owl plays. I think she's stupid. You're right. Owl is a combination of stupid in a lot of weird ways, and I actually don't know. She's so complicated, but I do think she's really dumb in a lot of things. Because when I read Lady Letitia's actual case, not what she reports, it's so not what she told us. That case was never going to win. It's still improperly filed. Right, Junkyard. Whose mom is scrolling YouTube channels that you go to and protecting you and standing up for you when you're 49? Yeah, she sure did. They're all creeps. They are. Hi, Cool Waters. Thank you for stopping by. Look at what Al did to LL. She was. Maggie said my full legal name and I have a minor channel. I'm so sorry, Risa. Um, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm saying I wasn't there when that happened because I don't remember your information. It, but I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. And the fact that you have a minor child is fucked. And honestly, it's the fact that they are doing this stuff out of their own vitriol, out of their own anger and ugliness, and not giving a fuck about how that would affect another person. That is so selfish. Oh, I'm hurt, so I'm going to try to hurt you. And I don't care if. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I'm still learning this. Um, okay, let me. Mm, look at what Al did to Lady Letitia. She was even going to have Christine G serve her paperwork. A total stranger. LL never has met her in real life. And that's the thing. Maggie really did, like, she's so manipulative that the way she says things and sets you up to do things if you're a subscriber seems so chill. Like, she really did say, make it look like she did research and it was legally okay for somebody to go drop that off. And Christine took that. She was going to go do that because Maggie told her it was legal to do that. But did anybody look into that? No, they didn't. So she could have set up Christine to for a situation that could have been against the law for her and hurt her legally. But again, we're in the state of Texas. You never go to a person's door and knock. We have we have license to carry. It's the wild, wild west. You don't do that. You don't do that. And a career at Protect. That too. That too. And I hope that you reported it, Risa, because that's the only thing that matters to that bitch. When she doxed me, I asked Danielle to take down her live that Danielle did based on my Facebook pictures. And Danielle took it down within 24 hours. And I've talked really bad about Danielle. But Maggie didn't take it down because that bitch is all about her bag. And from a family full of corruption, she loves that. So she kept it up as long as possible. I had to go through YouTube legal for it to be taken down because the privacy strikes do allow the original content creator to make edits, and she didn't do that. YouTube had to intervene. That's how bad of a person she is. She didn't care. And so when this again, I'm going to say this again. When she talks bad about Danielle, she's talking about herself because everything that she says Danielle did to her, she did to me. It's like God gave her a chance to not be like her. And maybe if she would have passed that opportunity to be the demon that she says Danielle is, maybe some karma would have turned over for her. But now it's settled. Somebody hurt you, well, you just did it back to me. And now it's no, you're no longer a victim. It's the karma balances are good. You're not going to get that channel back and you're not going to get vindicated with Danielle. You done fucked up. The universe is not on your side anymore. Maybe it was at some point. Maybe you were a victim at some point. No longer that. And you did that to yourself. We all have the chance to be terrible villains and monsters, especially when we're hurt. That's the whole point. That is the whole point of the devil making us suffer so that you will sin, so that you will become a horrible person. But the whole point of humanity, you say, I believe that I remember you saying you're a Christian woman. The whole point of Christianity, of Jesus coming here, or of trying to be an ethical person is to not become a monster or fall into that temptation when we're hurt. And you did not pass that test, ma'am. You took the bait and you said, hey, devil, let's go. And that's where you're at. And that's where you'll stay because your pride, just like Satan fell from the sky. What was his biggest sin? Pride. The same one you have. Mind you, you're also born the same day that Hitler was born. That's a lot of little synchronicities that you need to be careful for. Um, Hi, Sassy. How are you? Welcome, honey. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. She has been after Danny since Jag. Every day she talks about Danny. Yes, and she excuses that with her, oh, this is my hyper focus. No, ma'am, that's obsession. Stop saying that it's hyper focus. You're not the only one with autism and ADHD. And even if you have a diagnosis, that's not an excuse to be psycho and unmanaged and unmedicated and all of that. You go get help. I know I have to. I'm in therapy with my psychiatrist and my therapist and all this stuff. Like, been in it since I was 18. I'm 34. You do the math. It's been a long time. But that's what you do. You're responsible about your issues. You're not responsible. You're just using YouTube and your audience as your fucking therapist. People just hate to admit Maggot is a sick individual and she needs therapy and a sedative. Literally, she does need a therapist because she's using YouTube. She's traumatized in her own way. And instead of doing the healing, she is crashing out and using that trauma as an excuse to crash out and be evil. And it's not. We all in this universe, all human beings go through injustice. All of us. All of us have been hurt. All of us have been a victim of someone else. You're not the only one. And none of us get an excuse to just go dox people, to just go fuck people over, to just go take their. You don't get to do that. How do you think the world exists? You think we all get a pass to do whatever we want? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's not how it works. And I can tell you don't have siblings because you don't know how to get along with other people. You fall out with everyone. Again, when you are trying to judge a person's character, look at the patterns. Look at the patterns. Look at the patterns that they have with their relationships. Because a person's heart and psyche will tell itself through repetitive behavior, not just one. So step aside and look at their overall pattern of behavior, their overall pattern of relationships, and what happens when those relationships fall apart. Some of us have relationships that we've been able to nurture and feed and water like a plant since we were in kindergarten and across countries been able to stick together. That's where I come from. Okay. I have friends from my country that I speak to today from kindergarten. Okay. I love people, real people. Okay. And what you do when you love people, when you love your friends, you take care of them like you take care of plants. You water them with love. You feed them with attention. You take care of them and give them the sun and the time, and you see them and their pain and their happiness. You celebrate with them, you cry with them, you experience life together. You don't just focus about what you're going through. It's dynamic. And when you do that to people, people feed that back to you. And that's how you build community. And it seems like a lot of people here are not into community, but into themselves, into their bag, into this is my channel, and I want to talk about my life, and blah, 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 blah. That's not community. And I do have problems with those people, and they hate me too. And you know what? At this moment, I'm realizing that the people that hate me are people I don't want to be like. So it's a good thing that they do because I don't want people like, let me tell you, if Hitler liked me, I wouldn't take that as a compliment. But if Hitler disliked me, I would take that as a compliment. Okay? So in my book, King Yum Owl hates me, so I'm doing great. Like I'm doing something right because she hates me and she's evil as fuck. So I must be doing something okay. It's good that certain people don't like me because I want that character style to be as separate for me as possible. I don't want to be associated with that kind of behavior. Sorry, I'm so behind the chat. Dude, probably exactly. Let them be in a big group of hit. Exactly. So happy to see you. Thank you. There's my baby. Oh, I know. I'm glad. I'm glad that you get to see Plotter here. Could be they're all mindless. Maybe. Maybe. Because I do think that narcissism leads to a certain level of, how can I say this? I think when you're narcissistic, you don't get to learn a lot because you're so self-centered, right? It's like having what is it called? Snow White, right? When she, yeah, Snow White, the witch, or the witch, right? She's the one that sits in front of the mirror saying, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest of them all?" That's narcissism, and that's what I see people doing here that are content creators. Some people, not everybody is terrible. There's a lot of good content creators that build community. There's a number of them. But people like Maggie, people like Donut, people like Star, it's not about that. It's about how they look, how their channel looks, how their image looks. And it's, if you think about it, it is a mirror because like I'm doing it right now. I'm sitting down and seeing my face, and that's what they do all day. And you can understand how they dehumanize the subscribers and see them as just another number because they're looking at themselves all day. So I think some of these people become narcissists or are narcissists, and YouTube feeds that, makes it worse. And when that happens, your brain stops having to learn new things because you're in this reflection mode. You have no reason to learn something new, to get outside of your comfort zone, to see other people, to try to, even if you talk to a person with a different personality style, you learn, you adapt, your brain gets to stretch. If you're in a narcissistic echo chamber, you don't get to grow and your mind will become slow. And let me tell you, the brain, the way it works is if you don't use it, you do lose it. It's called pruning. Look it up. Look up neuroscience pruning. What is pruning? It's at certain developmental stages in our lives, our brain makes a, how can I say this? It makes a audit. Yeah, it makes an audit of how you're using your brain, what you're actually using, and to be make it more efficient, it will only keep those connections that you use consistently and kill off all the other ones because more neurons is not more efficiency. More neurons is not more intelligence. It's actually the act of having the least amount of neurons, right? To be able to handle the amount of information you have to process as fast as possible. And when you have too many neurons, it slows down processing. So every now and then, there's certain developmental stages in our life where the brain will make an audit of, okay, what is Polly using? She hasn't used her Portuguese in about 5 years. Okay, we don't need that. She uses Spanish every other day though, so okay, we need to keep that. What about that calculus two thing? We haven't talked about that in 20 years, so we can throw that away. And that's what happens at some point. It's like, okay, ready, everybody, let's go throw these away. Calculus, we don't need that anymore. Chemistry one, we don't need that anymore. But keep the Spanish, keep the English, maybe check on the Portuguese. You see what I'm saying? And so if you're in this narcissistic loop, you're only using certain things of, oh, I'm just thinking about myself. I'm just doing this. So you, in one way or another, you do become dumber. There's no reason for you to grow or learn. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's because they're all mindless. And I think that maybe the style of streaming that they do makes them even more mindless, and that's why Maggie has no content because it's like there's so much to talk about. That's if their brain even works. Teddy. Oh god. JR, do you see that all is all wrong in day movement? Yeah. We're close in age, Polly, so I unite with you, but yeah, gonna get haters everywhere. Yeah. Thank you, Saucy. Yeah. Saucy. Sassy. You're saucy. I know, I know. That's awesome that you're in my age group. You're a millennial. And, you know, I'm sure I don't know much about your story, but I'm sure you've experienced some level of madness too. And that's why you can empathize with that. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. The grandiosity and entitlement. Yes. Oh my God, the grandiosity and entitlement. I'm so sorry, but Donat is a master of that. When I first saw him talk, I was like, whoa. Oh, this whole sector is intimidated by me and they know oh my gosh, it's like, okay, we're all just people. Do y'all understand that God doesn't see you as more than you because you do this or that? Because we're all the same human value to God and to the universe. Nobody is better than another person, and nobody has more rights than another person here. We're all equal. So I don't know what it is about the app that makes some people feel so entitled, but you're not. It's an illusion of your own brain. Yeah, no, I think um Plotter went to bed. It was like 3 a.m. Where he's at. So he's in bed. Very likely in bed. Cause I'm saucy. um Polly, you're so correct. I'm going to ask you if you have any degree in psychology or mental health because my daughter is a practicing mental health therapist right now. I do, Sally. I do. I do. Yes, I do. I am not a practicing mental health therapist right now, though. But I do have a background in those fields. Yes. Um, I started in neuroscience, clinical research when I was in 2009. I did research from 2009 to 2014 in neuro, and that's when I left that field and went into clinical psychology studies. And right now I'm on a sabbatical in between my graduate programs because I needed a break because I've just been like after high school, I just went to college and then I did some research internship and then I went into my graduate program and it's been nonstop. So I did take a break and I'm on. I want to say my last year. I'm going to be returning to my last year in my graduate program. So yeah, but that's awesome that your daughter is a mental health therapist. I'd love to hear how she's doing. Damn, my neighbors are so loud. My daughter is now going for her doctorate, sweetheart. You sound exactly like her every single. Oh, that's what you can tell. Okay. I was like, what did I say? Okay, yeah, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. That's awesome. She just told me all of this not too long ago. I have fallen back and I am more of a watcher. Oh my gosh. Wow. You know what? Thank you so much, Sally, for saying that because this is something that it's just been my personal theories and opinion on what I've observed with YouTube because I'm very new to it. Especially the streaming world, right? And until last year, I was so preoccupied with graduate school. I had no time. I worked in a laboratory that had no service. It was under in the basement. And so I never got a chance to be on YouTube like this. And it's like a social experiment because there is no research on how this affects the brain, but it is affecting it. It is definitely affecting it. So the way that this technology is happening, and I consider this unethical technology, right? Because they're just focused on pushing it, you know, putting out as high tech as much high technology as possible without thinking about the human consequences. And that's one of the styles, and it's not ethical. They're not considering the ethics, right? I think it's basically putting us into a constant live experiment because we don't know exactly how social media is affecting us 10, 20 years down the line. We are the first generation. We're the guinea pigs. So we'll see how all of this will affect us in 10, 20 years. But we don't know. But it is affecting us. It's not slowing down. We're just not aware of it. So as individuals, we have the major responsibility to be aware of how it might be affecting us and putting boundaries there so it doesn't kill us because it does kill. Yeah, I'm working on being more of a watcher too now, Sally. But unfortunately, I wanted to do that just completely, and then people just, at least Maggie talked on me for a month, and during that time I went to my therapist because I was trying to be quiet, and it was doing me a lot of damage. It really was. It was triggering. I have PTSD from a lot of different things, but it was triggering a certain part of my past of being. When I came to this country, I experienced a lot of segregation, racism, and people would intentionally make me feel less than. And people, because, for example, for a while, English is my second language, so it took me a minute to speak. And the ability to speak was something that I didn't have for a year or two. And when I did, people would make fun of me. And so that silenced me. And also, when I've experienced abuse, physical and sexual abuse, I was silenced then too. So the experience of being silenced was triggered by the fact that I was doxxed and being talked about and asked to leave and be quiet and stay put. So at some point in therapy, I discovered that being quiet and not speaking up for how I feel at the threats and the harassment and the bullying and the lies that were told on me was hurting my mental. And so that's why I stayed and spoke up a little bit more but at the same time, I I'm not thinking about getting more involved. Definitely not, and, at some point, I thought about having a whole channel dedicated to some of the things that I like to watch and psychoanalysis of this and that, but I if I do that, it's gonna be a very long time from now, and it won't be live streaming, you know? So, I understand what you're going through what you're saying, and it's a good piece of advice, and I think we all need to draw a boundary with technology for our own safety, and we need to be able to follow that boundary, and if you can't follow that boundary or create a boundary, then find somebody, an accountability partner that will help you do that because it will destroy you. Polly, though, I know a little bit of what you're going through. You're so cool with me always. I got to see you pull up on my live though. Yes, I'm sorry. Uh I need to have some more downtime than remix because I've just been dealing with a lot. But I love your music. See the remix channel. All they do is play really good playlists, really good DJing, really good music. And so I post them all the time on my community wall. I'll post it after this so y'all can check him out. And he has a lot of different lives just dedicated to music. So it's not going to be drama. It's great for you to just play in the background while you're doing stuff. And he's got really good music. So I appreciate you and I send you lots of love. You're awesome. I know. I know. Did you know that Star Dogs Polly last night? Yeah, I think I told Risa. That's the depravity kicking in for some, to be honest, that are not used to seeing anything, and YouTube seems to be too much. I know, I know, and I think, it also has to do with generational differences. I've noticed that people that are older than millennials struggle a lot with the culture online. Like, the biggest example is they don't seem to understand what a healthy troll is. They take it very seriously. And millennials, we kinda grew up with one foot into technology, so we know memes, we know trolls, that's part of the culture, so we come in here knowing it's part of the culture, you know? Thank you so much, the remix. You're awesome. I love you. You're the best too. She's exactly your age and she's going for her doctorate. She started her education in Japan. Not Japan. That's so cool. She did some school in New Zealand. Okay, that is so cool. See, I bet she's got some interesting stuff. I would So if you ever want to send me an email just to chit chat, let me know. My email is on my community wall. So because I'd love to learn how New Zealand and Japan psychology is over there. I mean, I know New Zealand has a lot more innovative research. They're a little bit more ahead along with Switzerland. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. That is so cool. Thank you. Says they never hated you, it's hard to hate me. I'm glad that you don't hate each other. Thank you, thank you. Yes, sassy, Latina, Boricua, Morena, Dominicana, Colombiana. Yes. I'm not always in a positive way. My daughter wants me to literally log off. Oh, I know, I know, I know. And I think, we need to put those boundaries. So you play around with that and find whatever works for you as long as you ch- keep checking on how you're doing mentally. That's something that a lot of people I think forget. Like Check your heart rate right now. How's your breathing? Have you drank water? Have you thought about that when people are just, I'm like, let's check our vitals, because that's really important. See, Risa, I'm so excited that we connected because I would love you've been around a lot more than I have, and you are very observant. I've noticed that. And so you're a wealth of knowledge that I would love to get your perspective on YouTube, stream world lives and all that uh stuff because I have theories, and again there's no there's no quantifiable research. Like, there's not enough data out there, right? There is some qualitative studies, but there's not a lot of quantitative studies. And we just don't have the data. So it's all theories for me. And I'd love to be able to, just think out loud with y'all because that's kind of where research starts, just to understand what's going on. And I know that y'all see different things than I do. As long as you control the internet and it doesn't control you, I think most of us are okay. Yes, but there's a large percentage that is not doing that and they're not okay. Yes, absolutely. Feel all the shit in the past should remain there. Yes, Sassy and just Risa, listen, there's a lot of shit that ends up splitting us up, especially the subscribers or people that, are here just trying to just you know, chill, find community, get distracted a little bit. And the content creators and their drama will trigger things between us that end up not really being about our personalities and our personal relationship to each other. So I think that the best, the most beautiful thing that I've experienced in this YouTube streaming experience or experiment is being able to reconcile with people where especially people I didn't directly hurt, right? People that, it might have been a miscommunication or we were fighting about, other people, whether it was content creators or whatnot, but being able to let that go, come together and speak to each other and see eye to eye and judge each other based on the actions that we give to each other is the most beautiful thing I've experienced, just generally speaking. And that's the only aspect that I think I've really been able to take as a lesson because my PTSD is so annoying that I have trouble trusting people. And because of that, when people hurt me or have done me wrong, not like super wrong, but maybe said some shitty things or something like that, I never wanted to give them a second chance because of my trauma. But that's not how you grow. If you live like that, you will never be able to innovate. Because to be able to innovate, you can't do it alone, right? You need to work with people. And when you are working with people, you will have disagreements. So learning how to come back from disagreements, rebuild friendships and relationships is one of the greatest tools that I've gotten from this. You know, of course, there's limits on the amount of stuff that people have done to me and whether I'm able to reconcile, but if it's not something that is so detrimental to me and is more, surface level, it has really taught me a lot about being able to mend things, mend relationships. And I think that is so useful in the world, professionally and personally. I don't want to have to keep living somebody's trauma repetitively. Nobody goes unscathed. Nobody. Exactly. Either get some help, heal, or stop putting it in other people. Go live somewhere with it. Yeah, go live somewhere with it. Exactly. Yes. We're not your therapists. That's the problem. I'm so drained of having to live everyone's personal trauma. It's like big dumping station. I say no thank you, and I don't do that on here. No one should. Yep. And then I guess there would be absolutely nothing to do, no content, because there's not a lot of talent. And I'm gonna put that straight out there. Yes, there's not a lot of talent because you shouldn't just have to talk about yourself and your daily, like, your daily traumas. That how I think that kind of style of content is like having a phone call. So why don't you just call your besties? 'Cause that's what I do. I call my besties and talk about my day and what's going on in my personal drama life. But I don't know if I spent an entire series with that. I don't think that's healthy for anybody, other than having to move around and trying to keep yourself safe. I can do that downtown LA. Right. Something else, but you create your own reality online and off. You're right, Sully. You're right. Forgiveness and retribution are key in life to keep your soul happy. I made my own mistakes and own up to them too. Awesome. I really like that, just Risa. One thing that I think is really important for our own well being is taking accountability. Because when you don't, you're hurting yourself. You're not learning. You're not elevating. You're not. You're getting stuck in that loop and going back to how the brain works. You're not learning. You're inhibiting your own brain to not stretch out, to not do new things, to not interact with new types of personalities and get challenged to be able to work with them and find certain angles of your personality that you can tune into to fit to theirs and vice versa. That's challenging. That takes emotional intelligence, social and emotional intelligence. You're exercising your orbital frontal cortex. But if you don't do that, if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't challenge yourself, if you stay in your safety corner with your trauma and you keep reliving it, you're going to lose all of that. You're going to lose your brain power. You're going to lack social emotional skills and you're going to stay behind. People are doing anything for money. That's what this is. Yes, I think so. I think so because, you know, going back to Maddie, she had a fundraiser for $1,000, right? I think I contributed close to $400 of that $1,000, right? And then we fell out. She doxed me, and what she did was made fun of me afterwards, saying I'm a moron because I gave her money to sue someone I'm friends with now, which is not what at all what happened. She advertised that fundraiser to be for a lawsuit against Danielle, which did not happen. She says she ended up using that money to sue Lady Letitia. And she's saying that I did that to Lady Letitia, which is not true. But in the end, we find out that she got a fee waiver, right? And then she asked for another $500, but then she also asked for a fee waiver, right? So it's like, okay, so it's so pathetic because it is not anything better than a person. You know that those homeless people that instead of being honest and asking for money, they'll play victim and get on a wheelchair when they can really walk? That's what that is. That's what Maggie does. Mhm. It's pathetic. It's low and it's taking advantage of people's hearts in charity. And that's not good for anybody. That's not good for people that need charity. People pay for the mess. At the end of the day, people want money. It's a human trait, right? And mental health, that's a whole nother issue on this application. That's true. I'm gonna roll up without boundaries. You're basically in traffic without brakes, even on the internet. Absolutely. Paul, your breath of fresh air and beautiful. Wow. Oh, thank you, Sally. You're so sweet. Thank you. You can still do that. You can be a positive. You can be a beautiful, positive space. I hope so. I hope so. Um, I'm trying to take care of my mental. Um, in 2026, I gave myself one motto, and it's the name. K. Dot said it best. Push, bitch, don't kill my vibe. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. I am not letting people kill my vibe. It takes a lot for me to get out of bed and not be triggered back into bed. And with everything that's been going on recently, it's an uphill battle to not be depressed, to not get low, right? Mentally. And so once I get my coffee ready, I get my blunts ready, and I've got a vibe. I'm smiling, I'm joking. I'm not gonna let these motherfuckers kill that. I'm just not. I'm not. I fought way too hard for my vibe, way too hard to get there. And I'm not gonna let these people take it. I'm gonna move at my time, not theirs. No matter how many threats you put on me, you're not going to make me move if I'm not comfortable, if I'm in pain or whatever. I'll move at my time because I don't get told what to do. Biggest pet peeve. Do not tell me what to do. Do not make me do something unless you're my boss or something. And even then, I just quit my company a couple years ago because they were disrespectful. I don't take that. I'm not anybody's slave. Okay. And I say that because I've been treated like one. Okay. Because it's a trauma I have. Okay. That's why I say it. And because I don't like it when people try to make me feel that way. I don't think anybody is above me to be able to command and tell me what to do, especially in a disrespectful way. Only God can do that. And I'm happily taking instructions from Jesus Christ any day, but not from another person. I don't do idolatry. She was being a big shot is why she did that, plus a bully. That's true, Juju. You are you already are a flower. Never want to lose your voice, but we want to keep our alignment. Yes, it's called power, and you have that. Thank you, Sally. Thank you. We're all trying to heal from something. Yes, we are. Nobody is suffering more than another person. And that's why I'm always see the United States is an individualistic country, right? It's all about your individual rights, your individual freedom, who you are as an individual, right? I come from a communistic country, right? It's all about community. It's a community based society. And the way that we handle things is because our government in Latin America, all of our countries, is atrocious. Our, we have to become responsible for issues that happen in our community. So we build a system in our community. And we don't get a lot of help from the government. So when it comes to suffering, mental illness, all of that, we build a community together, right? That we can talk, we can come to each other when we're losing resources or when you have children and you don't have people that can watch them, right? We build a community within your family, within your neighbors, to be able to fill in the cracks in your life. And because I was raised like that, because I come from that, because I'm the oldest of three children, right? And I had to help my parents raise my brothers, right? I know how to work in a group. And I know that the strength that comes in numbers and community. And so the one thing we all share in common is we all suffer. And we can use that and see it as a connecting, empathetic space and learn from each other how we get by still. Because maybe, Just Recent has a way, a motto, a mantra, a something that helps her get through that I've never thought about that will help me in a new situation that I'm in that I don't know how to deal with. And vice versa. Maybe I've been through things that she's about to go through, and I've had things work that helped me get by every single day, that worked for me. And so we can share techniques with each other, and that will help us grow a lot more and handle a lot more than if we were alone, because now we're an army together against the world and not just ourselves by ourselves against the world, you know? So community for me is something I really do believe in. I do believe in community, and I believe that community is honestly the answer to a lot of the systemic issues we have. I do think that if we had a stronger sense of community, we would have, for example, less shootings. I think that today, kids are inside a lot more. And I think if we had third spaces where people could go and have and safely bring their kids to play in spaces where you get oxygen and sunlight, there would be a lot less darkness in our school systems. We're all trying to do it. I said something. Well, I said the wrong word. My phone autocorrected, not retribution, reconcile. Oh, okay, okay. I mean, I kind of got where you were going with that. Yeah, silence can be deadly and become less and I'm going to check out the remix channel. Yes, Kareen, it's great. Oh, thank you, Sally. So trying to heal in my mind from something that happened in 1985. I'm so sorry, Doodoo. I'm so sorry. But we're here for you. Okay? We really are. And I know that you have shared some of your struggles with me, and I want you to know that sometimes when we're in situations where we experience a whether it's an accident or something that hurts our body or puts us into a situation where we need assistance or it's difficult to just do the daily tasks with ease, it alienates us. It makes us feel like we're the only ones going through that or that nobody could possibly understand. But even though I don't understand exactly what you're going through because it's your individual experience, I want you to know that there's a lot of us that are in the quiet of our homes and have to figure out how I'm going to get up and do everything I need to do when the pain doesn't stop, you know? And that can feel a little bit more comforting because you can allow yourself to be a little bit more genuine with yourself and be and experience what comes with living with pain without judgment. Because if you saw how I lived and how had to, cope with everything, you'd see that I'm just in the same place or trying to cope the same way. And so you're not alone and you're not going to be alone through this process. And we will figure out how to make our lives a little bit sweeter each and every day, regardless of, what goes on in our bodies or our lives. Stay in high distant vibration. Your good energy, your love. Yes. Yes, we love you, Dudu. I don't lead out of emotion either. Or at least I try, but I am the sad cow now, moo. Oh my god. Okay. I heard you say that, just Risa. I didn't get a chance to check if you told me about the cow. But I know, Risa, you're an Aquarius. Okay, so I know you don't lead with emotion. All right, that's your strength. Oh, Sally, okay. The Marines, you traveled a lot. She speaks 5 languages. Also, you guys are a lot like she never yells. She's told you. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. She's my twin. That's so cool that you guys. wow, she speaks 5 languages. I gotta catch up. I only speak 3. What languages does she, speak? Nick, thank you so much. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you so much for coming, and you're my 100th sub. Woo! Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I actually didn't even check. I appreciate it. That's so sweet. Thank you. Nick is another person that makes music, by the way. Nick, I will also be posting hers after this. So it's a top of my community wall. Nick has a lot of great music and she makes original AI generated music and she's really good at it. She's got a lot of different things. Um, Style. She recently made a Brazilian playlist that I really liked. So if y'all wants to just, no drama, just listen to some music, different beats. Nick the Mountain Goat has also some awesome, awesome music, and y'all should check it out. I'll post it on my community wall after this, okay? Thank you, Sally. Yes, please email me when you can. It's abuse. Yes, call your friends. Oh, I am so behind. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Oh my god. Sorry about being so I'm not. Sassy, I am definitely not lying. No, not at all. I have I think I counted back at least close to 10 generations. Okay. From I'm from the border of Colombia and Ecuador. Okay. It's right there. It's a tiny little town between the two countries. So, you know, uh sometimes some of my ancestors crossed the line. So, between Colombia and Ecuador. But my entire family, 10 generations um, ago, come from the same area, radius. So, for sure, for sure. But I have olive skin. I like you, Sassy. You're funny. Oh my God, yes. Follow you and Snoopy Ben. Oh, I love Snoopy. She's awesome, and I'm so glad she exists because it's so hard when you're the only one that sort of calls things out because you get dogpiled on. But when it's two or three people, it's harder. And again, that goes back to community. We are stronger in numbers. Get that through your heads, people. Like some people, I feel like, you know, anywhere in the corporate world, one of the first questions they ask you is, can you work in groups and people? Why? Because if you want to grow, like profit wise, even, you got to collaborate with people. That's the best and only way you're going to reach certain heights, you know? Thank you, Sassy. Hey, Sunset! I'm so sorry I'm so behind. Thank you for coming. I've missed you. Just reset. Okay, I didn't see your new song. I have to check it out. I've been a little behind because I had to deal with some of this drama. So, Um, but I will be checking that out right after this, and I'll be sharing with you guys her song. So I'll be sharing in my community wall a couple of, musical adventures you guys can go down because music makes the world go round. It's that third language, and it's really important. It's really important. Get kicked out of it, man. That's on the loss. Okay, and invited. Typo. I go to Burning Man without community. I couldn't do it. Wait, not Burning Man. That's awesome. Cool. IGen is hurting our kids. Yes, it is. Oh my God. Yes. Yes, it is. No, 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 no. Burning Man is community. That's how it works. You gotta learn how to deal with that tough weather. You gotta deal with, camping. It's not clean and fun and bougie, whatever. It's not. So you gotta learn how to lean on each other to get through that festival. And I think it's so beautiful. I haven't had a chance to go, but there's a couple of structures from Burning Man that will forever be impacted in my head. I'll try to find it and post it, but there's one where there's two figures, two adults, and they're like, let me see, they're like, their backs are, together and facing away from each other, and they look like they're upset, right? Like defeated, but and they're hollow, and inside there's two children or babies touching each other. So the adults are upset and fighting, but within them, there's two children trying to come together. And that I will never forget that sculpture because I feel like that is arguing. That is literally what we do. We want to connect, and a lot of times we get our egos split us up. But deep down, we just want connection. So I'll try to find that one. But Burning Man is awesome. Touch my client with my hands. I only use my feet and my legs, so that's pretty adorable. I can use my toes very well. Yes. That's really cool. Massage is so important. I have a lot of I used to do more than recently, but I used to do a lot of massage therapy for my chronic pain. Student once who had underdeveloped arms. He did everything with his toes, even writing. Yes, we have a famous Sassy. Maybe you remember what's his name, because I'm forgetting. You remember that famous musician that played guitar with his feet? I forget his name, but you know, it's the most beautiful thing. When you lose an ability, the brain is so malleable. It's called brain plasticity that it will switch the neurons that were specialized, for example, in vision. Let's say you become blind. It will use the same neurons that were supposed to be for the um, optical, processing, and it will actually reroute them, so to speak, to the auditory system, meaning the same neurons that are used for your eyes become specialized in hearing, and that's why people become stronger in hearing. It's because the neurons that you use for your eyes never get um, deleted. The brain is so plastic that it very relatively quickly trains those neurons to do something that it's never done before. And it happens like that with people that are not paraplegics, that lose their limbs. The brain will use the neurons that were specialized for those limbs and move them where it's needed. So, that's why some people are really strong with their feet when they lose their arms. It's the most beautiful thing. It's called brain plasticity. I used to scale rocks, and I haven't done that for about 5 years, but I still hike a lot. Hiking is awesome. I love hiking. You're right. Breathe. My anxiety is present. Mhm. Moo! Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. I go moo. You remember? If you remember, that was Doja. Doja. That's what I think of, Risa. Then if you're a cow, you're Doja style, a Doja Cat style cow. Okay. Yay! Just Risa speaks three languages. What are your three languages, Risa? I'm curious. I just dropped a new song, guys. If you're interested, called "Not Raised Like Us." I think. No, no, no. I didn't see that one yet. I'm excited. So, okay, guys, Nick just dropped a new song called "Not Raised Like Us." For y'all to check out after this. I'll try to, share the link to that. That's awesome. Sarcasm is my primary language. I love that, Risa. I love that. I love that. I love, love, love sarcasm. Who's gonna cam up on here? Nobody. So salute to you, Polly. Thank you. I was from a car accident in '85. My neck is fused. I have tons of meds. Just one day. I hope your pain isn't bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Judy. I feel ya. Damn, I feel ya. I really, really do. Um, I also had an accident, and I've never been the same. My body's never been the same. So we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. Cats make the go world round. Yes. I remember you telling me that, Judy Bird. That's a lot. Sorry, my friend. It is. Lauren is cool. I know. It is a lot to live with every day. I try my best. Thankfully, my husband is a good human. Oh, dude, I'm so glad that you have a partner. Add me on Discord, Polly. Yeah, just shit. How do I share? Sassy, yeah, I have no problem with that. I just don't know how to do that. But what's my what's my Discord thing? Let me think about that. How I can share. Yeah, Sassy, I have no problem adding you on Discord. That'd be awesome. Just help me out. I don't know how to send that to you. It's a lot. Can't tell my name. I'm being watched. We will be able to talk some more. Yes, yes, absolutely. I have neuromuscular disease. It sucks. Fuck. I'm sorry, Risa. We see we have a lot in common here. You know, there's chronic pain support groups for a reason, and we could do a form of that here. Where we build a system where we can hold each other accountable and make sure that we stay joyful about our lives because even with pain that is irreversible, we can still experience joy. Small glimpses of joy in the small little things, whether that's coffee in the morning with just the right amount of hazelnut or, that new cold foam I just tried or, the warmth of my freaking electric blanket at night on that one spot that hurts. It's those moments that we can cherish, and that's what life is. We can do it even through the pain, and we can do it together. We can. I woke up to be here, love. Oh, Lady T, there you are. Thank you for joining us, Lady T. We love you. Okay, you're a wonderful human being, and you're a really awesome, beautiful, strong woman. Okay, you're not people. Lady T has been bullied so much, and by other women too, and it makes me really grossed out because women need to sing with each other, not against each other. We already go through a lot. Misogyny is huge in the world. Sarcasm English and some Spanish, and I made fun of Xennial song too. Okay, sarcasm is great. You speak my language then. You speak my language. I didn't know you make music. I'll have to go to your channel and listen to it. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys. Okay, okay, yes, 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 yes. So Sassy, I do have I'll make a post on my community wall, okay, with my email. All right. I have to work. I passed out, woke up to y'all, and tried to going to other live, and it said private. Shake my hand. I'm so mad. I miss it. You will have to do unlisted and send me the link so I can watch your work tomorrow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think you missed too much. I have to play around with it. This is my first time. I think the first live, I could hear myself. So but you're good. You're good. Yeah, I got you. I got you, Liddy T. Um, but anyways, small choice sometimes it's hard for me. My family uplifts me all the time. I know, doo doo. Oh my gosh, I know, I know. And I think that it's for me, it's also finding new techniques to manage my pain. For example, I I used to do acupuncture, right? But it got too expensive for me. So, for as much as I needed. So I found this, it's an electro pen. Like it's like a pen, right? Looks like a pen, and in the end it's just got a little metal, right? And you can press a button and it'll uh exert a very small current, electric current of 5 microohms, and that activates the nervous system the way that acupuncture does without puncturing, just through that touch, right? And so I discovered that, and that allows me to use it every day. And that little bit, that tiny little detail has removed some pain for a few seconds or minutes or sometimes a little bit longer when I'm stretching, you know? And it's trying to figure out those little details, those little hacks, or like taking high doses of a turmeric. Didn't know that that would help my back. Stuff like that, you know? And I think if we can come together, especially if we have a multiple people that have, experiences with chronic pain, we can find little hacks with each other. And when we're having those days that are rough, just being able to laugh, I have certain shows that I watch that will distract my brain from it. That's really great medicine. So having somebody just to laugh with you or be around in your worst moments, I think it ameliorates the pain because there's the pain from the physical experience, and then there's the pain of pain, right? There's the psychological pain of being in pain and the frustration that you don't want to be in pain. You just want to move and live your life like everybody does. And that second layer of pain gets ameliorated by having some community or someone to help you stop thinking about the pain or something to distract you away from it so you can enjoy a certain level of peace and not have to double down on the pain because of how it affects you mentally, you know? I have a hereditary. Good night, Lady T. Love you. I have a hereditary spastic paraparesis. My brain doesn't send the correct messages to my muscles. My car is amazing. It helps me so much. Yes. Yes. You know what, Risa? I'm going to send you a picture of the pen that I have. It's called the AccuPen. Okay, because research has showed that it can help um, with the nervous system by igniting certain, with the electrical current, it can help ignite certain muscle spasms and muscle responses. It might be helpful, you know. Love you, Lady T. Sounds like TENS units. I use that. It really helps. I've tried turmeric. It helps. Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Curcumin, turmeric. It's great. Yes, Potter, I'm still here. I know. I gotta go here in a little bit. My headset's about to run out of battery, so I have a tends to and do tons of stretching. Okay, yes, that is what it is. Yes, yes, yes. The tens. Yes, exactly. It's helped me a lot. I'm learning. I'm learning. It's very recent for me. Hi, 0821. How are you? Welcome. Welcome. I just door dashed. Oh, nice. Just DoorDash. That's awesome. I have lesions in my upper spinal tract. Fuck. Mine are in my lower spine, but anything that's spinal, it's the worst because the pain radiates. I think nerve damage and nervous system issues are kind of the worst because they're weird. Like they feel all electrical and then they're all over the place. It makes me feel so confusion. Ugh. Yes. Yes. But anyways, guys, my headset's about to die in a minute, and you know, I've been live for 121 minutes, so that's a pretty good live. I wanted just to come in here and speak my mind because I had a really rough day. Again, I had to go and make these stupid reports, and I hate doing that because I hate dealing with authorities. Like it's something that I had to do exposure therapy for, guys. Like I'm so traumatized with anything that has to do with government stuff and police stuff. And it's not really from the United States, it's from my own country, but it still fucks with me. So I just wanted to come in here and talk about some things that were bothering me. Like I said, my friend Lauren has been affected, and I don't like that. And she doesn't have a voice. So for last time, leave Lauren Nicole alone. Okay? She's not Snoopy, and she has not done anything to you, Star. If anything, she really tried to support you. Okay? Um, I want to also remind everyone to make sure to take breaks from the app because this is more important, and this is also more important. And this is the whole point. This, okay? Not anything else because the things that can be used to hurt us, right, can also be used for good if we intentionally, with a lot of intention and attention, focus on that. Okay, there's always going to be a temptation to go away from that and to go into the selfish and the ego and the me. That's not healthy for any of us. If we can use this is a double bladed sword, it can hurt us or we can use it to help us. Okay, so make sure to keep limits. YouTube is here and it can be a great tool. It can be very great educational material. It can also be really terrible for us. Okay, so protect your mental, protect your heart, all right? And let's build a community together. Let's figure it out, okay, together. I want us, the most important thing is for us to heal. And from the moment where we're at right now, I want y'all to take a picture of where you're at in life. And in a few months, I want us to be just a little bit more elevated in whatever goals we have. Okay. And that way we can keep growing together, holding each other accountable, and that'll push us to not stay stuck. That's something we can do with this platform that will actually do some good for us. Okay. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm not sure, if I'm going to come live anytime soon or anything, but I'm very active on my community wall. All right. You can email me and we can chit chat, and I'll come live if y'all want to talk or whatever. But thank you so much for hearing me out. I appreciate your time. I love you guys. Okay. I'll be sharing some stuff in the community wall and you guys can email me anytime. Okay. All right. Love y'all. Good night. Have a good one.